So tonight I am going to be talking about practicing tips, practicing your presentation. And regardless if this is a Zoom presentation, if you're doing this virtually, if you are doing this in person, here's 5 tips that I recommend that everyone do, just to ensure that you're keeping your presentation fresh, it's applicable to your audience and so forth. So first and foremost, go ahead, if you have not already done it, download Zoom on your computer and utilize Zoom as a tool to record your presentation. I recommend you have your video turned on when you do this so you can see yourself. Zoom can run on your phone as well, so make sure that you are doing this on Zoom because this is going to be a great tool for you to practice with. Number one, you want to record yourself. So as soon as you hit the record button, go ahead and go into your presentation. And even if you have PowerPoint, go ahead and share your screen with yourself. So again, the screen will capture all of that. It can also capture some of your video, but make sure you record yourself. This feeds into reason number 2, because you want to time yourself. When you're done with your presentation, hit the stop record button. It's going to, after you exit out of Zoom, it's going to save it as a video and you can go back and watch yourself, but it's going to let you know the time that it took for recording. So if your presentation is only supposed to be for 50 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes, it's going to tell you if you went and rambled on for an extra 5 minutes, or if if it was at 55 minutes. So you'll know if you need to add content or take it away, but you're not going to know that unless you time yourself. And Zoom is the best way to do that. Don't try to do a timer on your phone. That gives you something else to think about. Do this on Zoom. Number 3, you want to watch the recording. So when you watch a recording, make sure that you watch the whole thing through. Be prepared to take notes, which is number 4. But when you're watching your video, if you need to pause it to take some notes, because you're going to find by watching it, you're going to maybe see some things that you're doing with your facial features or with your hands, or you may be looking off a little bit too much to the left, or just some things that you might want to be aware of that you may want to go back and correct. Again, things that you may not even be aware of that you're doing. It could be a social tic. It could be something that you do because you're nervous. Again, it gives you the opportunity to make some corrections, but take some notes. So for example, if you're going through your presentation and you're finding, oh gosh, I forgot to add, and you fill in the blank, you can stop it at the time length, look and see what slide you're on and what content you need to add, or that you may be like, hey, I want to take this whole section out. So you're taking out all of that 1 slide or 2 slides or whatever. So take notes. And the 5th thing would be, you're going to be adding or removing content. Or you may say, hey, look, this looks great. I just need to maybe not say or pausing too much, or I'm struggling for my words on certain slides. I need to kind of just practice a few more times with that. But see what you need to add to your presentation, see what you need to subtract. And again, that's really going to go back to the time element according to where you're going to be speaking. So again, if you went on for 15 minutes, your presentation's only supposed to be for 10, then you want to go back and go, what could I cut out of this presentation that this particular audience really, it's good information, but they really don't need it. All of the other stuff is considered more vital. So that would be tip number 5. Keep in mind with this process, there is no right or wrong way to do this. This is to make sure that you're feeling comfortable, that you're practicing, that you are at the top of your game, that you're making sure that what you want to add to your presentation is in it, what you want to take away. If there's new content that you want to add, maybe another section, or maybe even, hey, this made my presentation way too long. This actually needs to be a separate presentation. So instead of 1, I now have 2 presentations that I can teach. So again, no right or wrong way. Keep that in mind. I do not recommend that you let other people watch your recorded presentations. Once you've watched it, go ahead and delete it. That way you're not tempted to go back and look at it again. Overanalyzing anything can be our downfall. And anytime that you bring in another person's opinion, remember that's all it is an opinion, but it can cloud your judgment. People will say, well, add this, subtract that, or you should be doing this. Before you know it, you get 3 or 4 people involved. You can know it's no longer your presentation, it's unrecognizable to you, which means you cannot present it effectively to an audience. This is no different from when you have written a book. You don't want anybody to read it till after it's published, because people will put in their 2 cents, and that's pretty much what most people's opinion is worth, is about 2 cents. If you feel like you do need someone to look at a presentation, have a meeting planning professional take a look at it to give you constructive feedback. That is constructive feedback, meaning it's going to be brief, to the point, and again, at the end of the day, it's one person's opinion. You need to do what you feel comfortable with, because again, you're the one who is presenting this content, not the other person. So I hope this helps. Just a couple of quick practice tips. And as always, I'm wishing everybody continued success.